Hold, sir. I'd rethink pressing onward if I were you. The village is crawling with saurians. Forgive me. I didn't mean to startle you. I used to call this place home, You're the Arisen, are you? Well, that's something. We were hoping to reclaim our village, but it doesn't seem we'll have much luck. We fled when the dragon attacked some days past, thinking we'd return once the baleful thing was easier said than done, clearly. In our absence, a bask of saurians have made our homes there. What are we to do? The guards not like to send soldiers all the way. But mayhap they needn't at all. Please, sir, do something, anything.
Saurians abound, Master. Be on your guard.
Careful now! Let me get that.
We'd best report back.
Is the deed done, good Arisen? Oh, thank you. We shall all be able to return to our homes at last. I dare say we'll have this place livable again. I cannot thank you enough. Long will you be known as a friend to our village. If you happen to pass by, I should like for you to see this place as 'twas afore the dragon's attack. For your sake, as well as ours, we'll do our utmost.
With this, the peril has passed. Still, perhaps we ought to visit the village again anon, just to be certain.
Right you are.
Have you a different destination in mind, Master? Very well. I shall follow your lead instead.
The Arisen decides our path. We have but to follow.
have no power to say. Of course. I was telling you aught I know of the sea's peril, of the brine. And you'd know that if you hadn't fallen asleep the moment I'd begun. Now, 'tis common knowledge that the brine halt any ships seeking to venture into open waters. As if to say, there's naught out there, so don't bother looking. But does that not strike you as rather miserly? Even if we are to believe that there's naught across the sea, why must we be kept to our shores? I should like to confirm for myself if there's truly naught to be found, and why shouldn't I? An old man with naught, sailing out into a sea of naught, and dying for naught. Where's the harm in that? When I said as much to the brine, they only stared at me in amazement. A lie, it may all seem, but 'tis the honest truth. I've beheld it all with my own eyes. Temple brine. Ah, but you believe me, don't you? Oh, that's right. I was telling you about the Gigantus, until you went off somewhere. Come, young people are so impatient. Now, listen well. The Gigantus is an earthen structure that hearkens to the voice of the sea, for 'tis a servant of the brine. Just as the Arisen commands the pawns, so too does the sea's peril compel the Gigantus. Supposedly, the brine have their colossal servant monitor the dragon to ensure that it commits no acts of excess. As for what the brine deem an act of excess, I could not tell you. Some would argue that 'tis the hand of excess what brings the cup of fine ale to our lips time and time again. But what of it? Those unbidden sips of ale are what keep the throat from growing parched. Without them, life would be a dull affair indeed. That brings me back to what I was saying about the... what was I talking about again? Ah, of course, the Gigantus. 'Tis formed of clay, and tall enough to graze its brow upon the very clouds. What's more, 'tis said its lofty gaze watches o'er the world even now. And should it be stirred to life by the voice of the sea, mayhap 'twould do aught to put that dragon in its place. You do not believe, but I assure you 'tis no less than the truth. I've beheld it all with my own eyes. All I say is true. What will... Of course! I was telling you aught I know of the sea's peril, of the brine. Now, 'tis common knowledge that the brine... As if to say, there's naught out there, so don't bother looking. But does that not strike you?
I'll gather this. It might be of use.
Tis in caverns such as these that monsters thrive. Tread carefully. One never can be too cautious.
By your leave.
Tis overly narrow here, and ill-suited to combat. Let us proceed with caution. Eyes peeled, ears pricked. I'll go and open the chest.
Yon path leads not to our destination. If you would prefer to explore, I shall guide you another time.
'Tis not for us to gainsay the Arisen's judgment. We must go where we are bid. Certainly, Arisen. How might I be of aid? My curative magics are at your disposal.
Wait a moment. Dare I say it? We trounced our foe, well and true.
We mustn't allow ourselves to become complacent. Take each trial as it comes. You have no need of my assistance at present, but I shall be ready to render aid at a moment's notice.